Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you to another exciting edition of our live presentation on this very day. Today is the 12th day, Wednesday, the 12th day of August in the year of our Most High Elohim 2020. The time now is precisely 4 minutes past 7 p.m. in the land of Biafra, and the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are, where you're domiciled, where you live, your place of abode. Even those who are listening from their workplaces, we welcome each and every one of you. And as always, as I welcome you, I must also remind you to bring your pen and your paper with you, because this is the very finest university on the face of this very planet Earth. We are propagating the gospel of redemption, the gospel of hope, the gospel of restoration, the gospel of liberation, the gospel of independence, the gospel of enlightenment, the gospel that will take us from darkness into the light, the darkness that will never ever prevail over the lives of those who are called Umu Chineke, the chosen children of the Most High. The work we are doing is divine. We have been mandated by heaven to restore this kingdom of God upon the face of this very earth. It doesn't matter what our enemy does. It doesn't matter how powerful we may presume they are. It doesn't matter how many they are. It doesn't matter whatever advantage they feel they have over us because we are from Africa. But we are chosen, and we can assure them that this very Biafra will represent the best last miracle on the face of this very earth. That is why we preach this very gospel without no fear nor favor. We are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender. We are going to do all we can within our powers and Elohim willing to restore his kingdom, and that kingdom is Biafra. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, as it is customary for us to say here, because there is no other radio station emanating from Africa that has the same reach as we possess. There are no other group of people who can boast of the coverage that we enjoy right across the face of this very earth. There are no other people that every race on this planet is willing and able to listen to, except Radio Biafra. Everywhere you go around the world right now, most places are at a standstill because they are listening to us. Because if you listen here, you would learn. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the largest mass movement of its kind anywhere in the world. It is an honor and privilege to serve the people of Biafra. And I can tell you categorically, without mincing words, that Biafra is imminent. Very, very imminent. And it is an opportunity we are not going to allow to pass us by, because the appointed time has come. And Chukwukika Biama Elohim Adonai El Shaddai is in charge, and we must give him every glory and every praise. If you're listening on my page, you're welcome at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. On Facebook, we are live. Not minding all the shenanigans of Facebook, we continue to stream live and direct to the whole world. You can also listen to us via your television set. If you have a decoder, you can listen to us online as well. You can listen via Radio Biafra app. You can listen via tuning. You can listen via Simple Radio. You can listen via Sweet Radio app. You can listen via Radio Garden. And very, very soon, and I do hope on Sunday, we are also going to listen via IPOB app. It is out, and we will start the dissemination, or should I say, the distribution of the link tomorrow. I welcome each and every one of you. And as I do so, especially those who are listening via FM in Kanu, those who are listening via FM in Abuja and many other places, including Lagos, we welcome all of you this very evening. Do not forget your pen and your paper. And most importantly, we must give praise to the Most High and hand over all these very proceedings to Chukwokika. And we must pray. We must pray a prayer that David prayed in the Torah, in the book of Psalms, chapter 46. This is a prayer to reaffirm that God Almighty in heaven, Chukwokika Biama, Abase Tamuno, Olisabinigwe, is our refuge. Everything that we do, it is not because of any power that we possess. It is not because we are the most gifted, the most talented, the most intelligent. All that we do, all that we are today is as a result of the grace of the Almighty in heaven. And that same God of creation, the same God of Eri, that same God of the ancients is the God that we give every adoration to. I do not worship I don't worship any idol, because it is given that thou shalt have no other God before me. That is the irreducible truth upon which this very movement, a very unique kind that the world has never seen, is anchored upon. That is why we are formidable. That is why we are the children of the Most High. That is why we have the Midas touch. Anything we touch turns into gold. That is why this gospel must be preached uncompromisingly. Let us pray. For God in heaven, Almighty Creator, the ancients of the ancient, the maker of the heavens and the earth, you created everything that the mind of a living soul can imagine, but none created thee. That is why we say you are immortal, you are invisible, you are omnipotent. This very God that every generation who has ever had the grace of knowing thee have always testified to your goodness. That is the same God that we kneel and bow before. This God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help, even in this time of Janjaweed trouble, even in this time of Fulani rage and terrorism. Therefore we shall fear no evil. This IPOB shall fear no evil. Even if the whole world is against us, even if Britain intensifies their effort to crush this very light of hope in sub-Saharan Africa, even though they shake the mountains, even though the seas may rise, even though they may give all the weapons and ammunition to the Zoological Republic, no matter what they do, no matter how they foment their rage, it doesn't matter to us. For God, Chukwokika Biama, is in the land of Biafra. We shall never ever be moved. This God of the ancients will help us now and forevermore. For Biafra shall come, and this Lord of hosts is with us. Chukwokika Biama, the same God of Jacob, this same God of Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, this God that never abandons his people, this same God is our refuge, and we proclaim it unashamedly that this God that we kneel and bow before, we shall worship thee, for Biafra is your promise. Your word is yea and amen. Instead of your word not to come to pass, heaven and earth will cease to exist, Upon this very hope we anchor all our belief that Biafra shall come in our time, and we pray that it come this very year, that your glory may be made manifest in the lives of men, that we may kneel and bow before thee. Nyahan soro tutona nsoporo ne jamani wisiala chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile ka otuto niile wee dịrị eze dị nsọ ugbu ama ruo mgbe niile ebighị ebi. Ise mama dịrị gị Chineke. For a minute there I was in the spirit. As I am led to pray, so have I prayed, and we must proceed very, very speedily and without any hesitation to propagate this very gospel this evening. That is a saying where we come from, and the land of the ancients, in the sacred land of Biafra. It means that those who have come to kill us will also kill themselves. You must listen very carefully this evening, because the God Almighty that we serve have placed this very burden of banditry, this very burden of anarchy and strife even amongst our enemies. And I start this very evening by referencing a publication in one of Zoo newspapers. And the headline reads thus: Bandits attack Katsina community, kill one and kidnap two. This very headline this evening and its accompanying analysis is designed as a direct message to those who sponsor terrorism from Fulani land especially. Nasser El-Rufai, the governor of Anambra, of Kaduna State. I wouldn't say Anambra is Kaduna State. Things are happening in Anambra, of course, that is true. But Nasser El-Rufai is the governor of Kaduna State. These are the main sponsors of Boko Haram. I saw a link that somebody posted earlier before I came on air. That link had it bold, loud and clear, that the Fulani governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, is the chief sponsor of Boko Haram right now as we speak, and every Janjaweed movement that you have in the zoo killing people. And they say that the dead Buhari, in whose name they are pillaging and looting the zoo dry, is from Katsina State rather. Today, bandits have attacked Katsina community as they've been attacking them from time. Some of you do not know that Katsina is a Hausa land. It is not Fulani land. Katsina belongs to Hausa people. And as I keep reminding us all the time, it was the stupidity of the Hausa people that allowed the Fulanis to come in and take over and establish their emirates across the whole of that part of the zoo. Today, they are paying the price for it. I am reading out this very news to warn Ohaneze, to warn Igbo governors, to warn any politician who may be harboring the intention of perhaps wittingly or unwittingly to advance the Fulani cause, which is the conquest of our land. I want to remind all those people, all of you, one after the other. As you can see, I'm speaking very, very calmly. I want to remind each and every one of you, if you're a politician, you're agitating for 2023 or 2096, as the case may be, for your presidency. For those of you who are talking up your prospects of belonging to a one zoo, one Nigeria, all of you should understand what is happening in Katsina today. We know that southern Kaduna is under siege, and also parts of the south, including Biafra land, is under siege as well. But I want to remind you that Katsina people are suffering, and I want to let the world understand, and most of these Efule politicians to also know this, that the Katsina communities that are suffering today are predominantly Hausa people. They thought that by giving their land giving their soul and being subservient to the Fulanis will save them. These attacks are not happening in southern Kaduna, they are happening in Katsina. As I pray every blessed day, when I pray, I say to Chukwu Kikabia Maprumi Heninem, that same hand that our enemies use to poison us, that unwittingly they put it in their mouth, and they too will become poisoned. And that is what is happening in Katsina. The reason why what is happening in Katsina is very, very poignant indeed is this. These are Hausa people. The same thing today that the Supreme Court governor of Imo State is trying to do by pleasing the Fulani people. The same thing today that I understand what Okalu said, that he's going to fight for one Nigeria. Anybody can fight for one zoo. That is entirely their business. But I want them to understand the mess they are putting themselves and their children into. Because when the Hausa has conspired, the same way that we spend most of our time, especially Igbo men, gossiping every blessed day, not all about an insignificant proportion of them. The same way they spend their lives gossiping every blessed day was how Hausa people gossiped against their kings and their rulers, betrayed their people and gave their land to the Fulani, thinking that all will be well. I want to remind the whole world that even after nearly 200 years of having given their land to the Fulanis are still killing them in Katsina, because Katsina is Hausa land. I want every Efule, I want every saboteur, both those with feeding bottle and those who presiding over Nkwobi. I want them to understand this very clearly. I want you to know the consequences of your treachery. I want Ohanese to understand the foolishness of their utterances. I want them to know the implications. You want to hand over our land to Janjaweed, the Fulani? Mietiala. That is what all of you want to do. All of you criminals, all of you compromised idiots, all of you, some of you fathered by vandals during and after the war. I want some of you to understand that today, a Katsina community is under siege. Not one, not two, not three. Should I say communities in Katsina are under siege. And do you know why it's very, very interesting? It is interesting because Katsina is Hausa territory. There were no Fulanis in the geopolitical space that the British named Nigeria, until the Hausas allowed them to come in. The same way today in our land, there are no indigenous or traditional Fulani communities. But in Ebonyi State, Umahi is giving them land. They think we don't know all these things. In Abia State, Ojus Okalo gave them Law Puku. And now Okezip Azu is giving them Okwa. And I have all the videos. And as time goes on, I'll publish all of them. I want people to understand and reason. The essence of the lectures that we deliver here every day is for a black man to be able to reason properly. Because our problem is never white people. Nature was designed in such a way that the strong will always take advantage of the weak. That is how life is. That is why a lion can chase a leopard away, or chase a cheetah away, or chase, capture, and kill a zebra and eat it. If a zebra had the same, should I say, the same paws as, as a lion does, and can stand up to a lion, the lion won't eat it. But because in comparison, the zebra is weak to the lion, that is why the lion keeps hunting it. That's how life is. That is how God designed nature. That is why a king cobra can swallow another snake. Swallow it whole. Bite it, poison it, and swallow it whole. That is how life is. I want people to understand this, especially those of you who are misguided. Those of you who you're looking at the glittering prize, the charade that is the zoo presidency. I want you to remember what happened to Hausa people. And funny enough, still happening to them till today. That is why Fulani people, Mietiala, are in Katsina as they are in Borno, as they are in Adamawa, as they are in southern Kaduna, killing people at will. And this thing happened this morning. They attacked a place called Gidangizo village in the Faskari local government area of Katsina State. They shot dead one man called Nasiru Alilu, who is 37 years old. These criminals stormed Gidangizo on motorcycles at about 12:30 a.m. and ransacked houses in the village. Who are these people? These are the foreign mercenaries, the foreign terrorists that El Rufai said he paid them to stop the killing in southern Kaduna. They have gone elsewhere. Of course, they're still killing southern Kaduna, but they're also killing elsewhere. Because once you encourage evil, evil has a way of exponentially expanding out of the control of those that set them up. I want Fulani leaders to understand this as well. All of you importing terrorism into the zoo. These are the consequences. All of you condoning the evil that APC has become. All of you who have kept quiet as one mask wearer after another have bamboozled and deceived all of you because you are not discerning enough, because you're not understanding enough. These are the consequences of it. I must commend Ondo State Governor. I must commend the Oduduwa race for spectacularly launching Amotekun in, I think now it's Ondo State, yes. Is it Ogun? I'm not too sure. It is posted on my page. I want Ojus Okalo to understand this. I also want the Supreme Court Governor of Imo State, the ex-419, or should I say current 419, Hope Uzodinma, to understand this very well. I want Ohaneze to understand this, especially the idiot in Anambra that was talking rubbish. I am older than him and he's saying our children. I will knock him on the head if I catch him. He's a child talking rubbish. I want to let all these idiots understand one thing. That your acquiescence, your submission, your willingness to sell your people for the price of a political position or a contract or to be in the good books of the Fulani will backfire, not just on you, but on generations to come. Do you know one funny thing? When Hausa peasants were busy betraying their kings to Fulani emirs, they never knew that a day would come when Fulanis will attack Katsina. Because the three big cities, Hausa cities you had in the Sahel were Gobe, today Fulani too can call Sokoto State. Another one is Kanu. Kanu is an ancient city. Another one is Katsina. Today, do you know that after giving their land to the Fulani, after allowing them to establish and run their emirates, after voting in all exclusively Fulani governors, they are not satisfied. They are still killing Hausa people till today. I want Ojus Okalo to listen very carefully. I know that some people are selfishly self-destructive in pursuit of their selfish goals. They destroy a lot of things. There is a video I will play later, not now, where those that call themselves traditional rulers were sharing money from Fulani people. These are the elders that they claim deserve respect. What they are doing today, future generations are going to pay very dearly for it. These are the things our people would need to understand, if at all they are willing to understand it. Bandits are coming and killing people because Fulani governors, Fulani politicians, Fulani millionaires, Fulani billionaires enriched with money stolen from the treasury. They went and set up terrorist groups, not knowing that those terrorists will turn around and kill their own people. Today they're killing Hausa people in Katsina. Not minding that Katsina has exclusively Fulani rulership. The emirate is Fulani. The governor is Fulani. Not minding any of these things. They're still killing Hausas there. The father, should I say, the forebears of the people you have today in Katsina were those that sold their land to the Fulani. But that didn't stop them from being killed. For the sins of their forefathers, over 200 years ago in Katsina, they are being killed today. This is a lesson I want Judges Okalo to learn. A lesson that I want Ohaneze to learn. A lesson that I want the Supreme Court Governor of Imo State to learn. This is a lesson for us all. Because what we are allowing today in our land, if it continues to grow the way it's been growing, you see Ebonyi State, our children will be killed there in the future. You see Abia State, our children will be killed in Abia State in the future. You see Wunno, Chilobuku, all that area, life will become hell for people because of the decisions that Ohaneze and some greedy politicians are taking today in pursuit of only 8 years in office. If you get this 8 years in office, you will destroy our land for 800 years. We will become like the Jews of Europe. In the next 2,000 or 4,000 years, those that are descended from us will fight their way into our land. And if by then Britain continues to wield the same amount of power that it wields today, the same way that Britain said that Israel will not exist, is how Britain will then stand up and say that Biafra will not exist. I need all of you to understand this tonight. That people are dying in Katsina State for the sins of their forefathers. 200 years ago, they gave their land to the Fulani. That did not stop the Fulanis today in 2020 from slaughtering them in Katsina of all places. This is a very big lesson. This is a very big lesson for all of you saboteurs. A very big lesson. And you are also putting yourselves in danger. Sabo, you are putting yourselves in danger because you are coming to ruin our land, our way of life. All of you pursuing your useless presidency for 8 years. Obasanjo was in Aso Rock for 8 years. Our Yoruba brothers are today still agitating, isn't it? Are they not agitating? Of course they are. They are agitating. These are the things that I want our people to understand. That 8 years you're looking for today, the Yorubas had it. They had it for 8 years. And what became of them? Today they are agitating for the Duduwa Republic. Today they are at the forefront of trying to return the zoo to the 1960 Constitution of regionalism. 8 years did not do anything for them. Jonathan was in power for 6 years. What did he do for Biafra? Nothing. Today we are still agitating to have Biafra. All of them from the north that have been ruling for heaven knows how many years. What has happened? Absolutely nothing. People are dying even in Katsina today. What does that tell you? That giving you 8 years in office cannot solve any problem for you. It cannot do anything for you. We want to remind all of them, all of you who are clamoring and campaigning and talking rubbish about presidency and saying you don't want Biafra, or that you've been mandated to talk about one Nigeria. We want you to understand the damage that you're doing. All of you are behaving exactly like Azikiwe against the advice of Mazi Bono Jika. All of you are behaving like you don't see exactly the same thing they were telling you don't see, he wouldn't hear. They were talking to him, he would not hear. They begged him, he said no. Unitary system, one Nigeria. And he paid with his life. All of you don't know history, you don't study history, you know nothing, your brains are empty. All you're seeing is money. All you see is money. All you are after is money, power and influence. And let me ask you a very simple question. How many people can remember who Jonathan's tenure in office? How many children today or adolescents can remember who Obasanjo is? I can assure you that not many people. These are the things that you need to factor in. Because we in IPOB, we sat down for many years. We considered all these permutations. We came to the conclusion that only freedom will suffice. Let everybody be on their own. And if they want to get together in the future, that's entirely their business. These are the things that the Fulefus must understand. And as we are preaching tonight, if nothing would move you, all of you Efulefus, all of you fools talking about one Nigeria, all of you yapping your rubbish every blessed day on the pages of newspapers, all of you talking garbage about presidency. Let us play. This clip went viral, it's everywhere. But I want to play this clip again for the benefit of those who are listening all over the world, especially those lecturers in Argentina and that very lovely white lady in Cologne. I want people all over the world to understand what somebody who has seen money-tested power sounds like today in the zoo. The former deputy governor of the Central Bank of the Zoological Republic, that the world may know, that the Fulefus may know, because there is something called expediency. Those things you're doing today, campaigning for zoo presidency, saying, oh, we are everywhere, we own shops, we own chemists and all that rubbish. The Jews had the same thing in Europe. It didn't stop them from being slaughtered. And as Mbakwe once said, a first fool is not a proper fool. It's a second fool that is proper foolish. I think it goes somewhat like that. We were killed over 5 million before. The world never questioned. Nobody asked questions. Nobody stood trial. No tribunals were convened nor set up. Nobody was tried. Even the fool that killed over 5 million people, go on, is walking about today telling us to pray. Let me tell you something. If we make the mistake of falling into this trap of one Nigeria, one zoo, one presidency, I can categorically assure you that the next time they will kill over 10 million. And as long as Britain is there to protect them, the world will not set up any inquiry either. Only 150,000 people die. I'm not trying to diminish the lives lost in Rwandan genocide. There was an inquiry. People were killed in the Congo, there was an inquiry. People were killed in Bosnia-Herzegovina, in the Yugoslav war, there was an inquiry. People were killed in Cambodia under Pol Pot, there was an inquiry. The UN stepped in. 5 million of you were killed and nobody asked any question. If that doesn't remind you to love yourself, then nothing else will. Nothing else will. The mistakes the Hausas made, we cannot afford to make it. The mistakes that others have made, we cannot afford to make it. And do you know why? Because we have too many enemies than those people. There is no other race on this that is hated more by the British than Biafra, and the Igbo man especially. There are 3 races that Britain hates very bitterly: the Irish, the Kikuyus of Kenya, and the Igbos. Go to your history. It was a Times editorial. What I'm telling you, I read in a British newspaper. They hate us with a passion. That was why they set up the Willings Commission to divide us, despite the fact that you have more varied ethnic groups in the north than in the south. Despite the fact that the same British anthropologists, wrote that Ibibio and Igbo are the same. Despite the fact that if you go to Wikipedia, you will see them write very clearly and legibly that Anang and Igbo, they are one. It is there. It is for everybody to see. Yet they set up a minority commission and established the Niger Delta rubbish, the nonsense you call Niger Delta, to divide us, to cut us into pieces. So we hate ourselves. But they went to the north. Nobody told you, all of you listening tonight, that there are more Christians in the north than Muslims. Are you aware of that? There are more Christians in the north. The same British defied the laws of geography, came down almost to the confluence of River Benue and Odumili Obaro, that is the proper name. They call River Niger, and said the north starts from here. All of those things were engineered to hold us down because of what the British found in Enugu. Because of what the British, I'm not going to tell you what that thing is tonight. There was a treasure they found in Enugu. And that treasure reminded them that indeed these Biafran people are the chosen people of God. And Britain proceeded. They proceeded to make sure that the world will not hear about us. That the pyramids as in Sudan, the same dwarf pyramids you have in Egypt that we have in our land. Britain saw these things and they went crazy. They said, if we allow these people to emerge, if we allow them to stand as Biafra, light will come into Africa. And Britain swore over their dead body, will Biafra emerge? There is something that Britain doesn't know. I preached this gospel in the year 2015 and I'll preach it again tonight. You see, Britain will be taken over by Muslims. Write it down as I'm telling you now. Britain will divide. Scotland will go, Northern Ireland will go, and Wales will go. And you know the funniest thing? Britain will not know what is happening to them. I said to you will not know it is those bunch of niggers called Biafra. That is because of them that God will decimate Britain. You see that tiny Biafra, Britain, you see that tiny, inconsequential Biafra. You see that Biafra because they are black. They are nothing. They can be killed in their millions and nobody will care. I want to remind you, Britain, that because of that tiny Biafra, your land will be decimated. And foreigners will take over your land. Write it down tonight, 12th of August, 2020. When it happens, as I did with the clip I posted, that was yesterday. When it happens, I will play this clip. And I will say, do you remember? 12th of August of 2020 when I said this. That's what's going to happen to you. Let us listen to what this man has to say. I want us to be very sober and to be in a reflective mood tonight to understand that there are some decisions you make or you take that will come in the future to bite you on the backside. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you know how many Fulani settlements there are in Enugu State? Do you know how many Fulani settlements there are around Nsukka? Do you know how many, acres, should I say hectares of land the Fulanis have taken over in Nsukka? Now, wouldn't it be nice to go back to Zeke's grave and dig out his body and show him what has become of his one Nigeria? I bet you that when Nnamdi Azikiwe was his name, in fact, when Azikiwe was busy campaigning for one Nigeria, he never foresaw that there will be a time when we'll be battling with the Fulanis to leave our farmlands alone. Nnamdi Azikiwe never foresaw that a time will come when women in his village will be raped and killed by the Fulanis. Nnamdi Azikiwe never knew that one Nigeria meant Fulani hegemony. Nnamdi Azikiwe never read the intentions of the British, that their sole aim was to breed a race of vandals, people that can never, ever be educated enough. And as I'm talking to you, please, I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you know that Facebook, what they do is, When I post something, after every 3 days, they remove it. As I'm talking to you right now, I want to see if I can snap the screen of one of the computers that we are using to broadcast tonight, because very shortly they'll remove it. What they have done, I want you to understand the number of powerful enemies that you have. Biafrans. I want you to look at Trump, for instance. I'm not saying it because Trump is going to do anything for us. Look at the number of enemies that Trump has today. Some of them for no reason. I want you to look at it. How almost the entire world media is against one single man. That is the same fate that Biafra is undergoing. For no discernible reason. Hatred from everywhere, including from quarters you feel ought to know better. I want to snap this very screen and I will post it to the whole world. This is what they do every day. When I post something, after 3 days, they will come back and they will remove it. Some of you will notice. What I have said is here, this is your post. It says here, you can't post or comment for 3 days. This is because you previously posted something that didn't follow our community standards. You also wouldn't be able to go live again. As I'm talking to you now, they want to stop the live program. And for them to stop this live program from going out on Facebook, you know what I have said? They dug up a post that I made 3 days ago. This is the first time I'm hearing of this one. That not only are they going to stop me from posting, they said that I can no longer go live. If I click on this very thing now, those of you listening to me via my Facebook page will be cut off. Did we do anything to Facebook? The answer is no. But you see how Satan, because Biafra represents light, you see how hard Lucifer is working. Do you see why I am not surprised when you have politicians and saboteurs of all shades and sizes, so to speak, rise up against Biafra? Because inadvertently they are working for darkness. The same thing that Britain did in the past is what they are doing today, without knowing it. If you told Zeke that, Zeke, you are being used by the devil, you are doing the devil's work by campaigning for one Nigeria, he won't listen. But today, around the same place where he owns his mansion or his compound in Nsukka, around the Zeke's flat that he took money from Africa Continental Bank, ACB, and built, that led to the death of Mbono Ojika, not too far from Ebawa in Nsukka, the Fulanis have taken over. But he's a learned man, PhD holder. I give that to him. But do you know that this PhD holder could not foresee the consequences of his actions? And today, we are the ones suffering it. That is what I want the Fulefus to understand. That is what I want them to have in mind. I want them to understand all of you campaigning for Igbo presidency rubbish. I want you to understand the damage you are going to do to all of us, to our children, and to their children's children. Goodluck Jonathan was the president for 6 years. Has Ogoni been cleaned up? Has Ogoni been cleaned up? Has he stopped people from fetching drinking water from the same creek that they defecate in and they wash in? What has happened? Do you think that by being in Asorok that you control the levers of power? Is that what you think? The answer is no. And look at the crop of people talking about Igbo presidency. What have they done? They are the ones that pocketed the money meant for Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. They are the ones that stole the money meant for Iguacha-Enugu Expressway. They are the ones who are there as politicians. There is no red line in our area. These are the same politicians who are there. No seaport is open in our land. These are the same politicians who are there. There is no single international airport from our land. People might say Enugu, but if you take off from Enugu, you're going to land in Kanu before you proceed to Addis Ababa. If you might say Iguacha, if you take your Lufthansa or Air France traveling to Iguacha, you stop in Abuja first. thereby making it a local flight. Simple common sense. None of these politicians could reverse these draconian, almost punitive economic sanctions against our people. How, therefore, are they going to try and get one over their Fulani masters when their chief sponsor is a Fulani man? How is that possible? That is how I want our people to be able to reason. Now, let us listen to what is happening in the zoo. We know everywhere is insecure. We know people are dying, people are being killed. But let us hear from those who are directly being affected, from them who they think is responsible for the mess. That way you will know the mess everybody is in. That way you will know the mess that 200 million people are in. People are in a mess and they don't know it. Let us listen, please.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
Yes.
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers.
Are you listening? This is Mr. Obadiah. He is the former CBN deputy governor. So I'm sure some of you have seen this clip. It's gone viral. It's everywhere. Later on, you will see that he's been invited by DSS. What he's saying is that exactly what I've been telling U.S. lawmakers. I have been telling U.S. lawmakers that the government of the zoo, I call it the presidency because there is no president, these collection of Fulani criminals, that they are indeed the ones sponsoring terrorism. He is not a Biafran. He's from Middle Belt. They are the ones who are being killed. And he has opened his mouth to confirm it to the whole world. And in the same place where this very news is reverberating, which is in Abuja, the British High Commission is there. British intelligence services, they are there. U.S. Embassy is there. U.S. intelligence services, they are there as well. But one thing some of you don't know is, as I read out to you a few programs ago, the reason why Britain created Nigeria is because they wanted a country with a large landmass and population through which they can control the whole of Africa. That is their aim. The same way that they're controlling your lives today through cattle rearers and nomads. Mietiala. Britain is running your lives through Mietiala. That was the plan that Britain had for the whole of Africa. Britain thought that this zoo they are creating will rise up one day to become a major power, both politically, militarily, and economically. So that way, through whoever stays, either Dodan Barracks or now Asarok, the British will be able to control the whole of Africa. But that backfired. They were backing up the wrong horse. They were putting people into power who never understood democracy nor modern governance. So that project failed. They're now focused on the zoo. That is why they will always support the Fulanis to rule over you. It's a very simple game. They want control of your lives. And the best way to do it is to appoint the Fulanis to do that for them. And that's what they're doing, and doing it brilliantly. That is why there are killings going on. Britain have not said a word. That is why Fulani people, Fulani government are actively engaged in terrorism, killing their own people. And Britain hasn't said a word. Isn't it funny? Let's continue.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Okay. How will the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria.
Are you listening?
Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They are already in the south, in the rainforest of the south.
Are you listening?
They're everywhere. They took.
And which people have the rainforest in the south? Is it not Biafra? And parts of Oduduwa as well. During lockdown, they were moving the same thing I've been telling you. During the lockdown, they were moving people, moving the terrorists all over the place. All of you saw it. Some of you saw it. You saw them moving their terrorists all over the place. We kept warning you that these are terrorists. Did you hear Britain say anything? I made a post today, and I reminded Britain of the formation of Amotekun. I also reminded Britain that Miyetti Allah have now formed their own vigilante across the entire 36 states of the zoo. The day now we launch our own, Britain will be the one to now write US and tell them to please watch IPOB very well because they are trying to foment trouble. Others have done theirs, they've not said anything. This man is telling you something that should, had this happened anywhere else in the world, there will be pandemonium, there will be a raft of condemnations from UN, EU, everywhere. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that no matter what the Fulanis do in Asarok, there is no word of condemnation from the British? Have you ever asked yourself why? Maybe one day you need to do that. The answers you find, I can assure you, you would not like. Have you heard what this man said? They are now in the rainforests of the south. This is something that the likes of Ojus Okalu do not know. They don't know that this nonsense they are uttering now about presidency, this one Nigeria, that Nnamdi Azikiwe did the same rubbish. Look at the mayhem, look at the death and destruction that the Fulanis are visiting upon us today. You know, black people, they don't learn from history. And we are told time and time, or we've been told time and time again, that history has a very funny way of repeating itself. The same rubbish is happening now. In their own era, it was Zeke, Zeke is learned, he went to America. Can you see his grammar? We fell for that garbage. Today we are suffering. Today some idiots are coming out campaigning. They are the political elite. They are the elders. Listen to them. The same way that our fathers listened to Azikiwe, look at where we are today. You want us to listen to this breed of almost half-educated illiterates. And think of what shall become of our children in the next 100 years. That is how men reason. That is how sensible, reasonable people reason. Now, tell me why in a country that claims to be a democracy, the presidency itself is actively involved in engaging terrorists to be killing people because they have an agenda, Islamization, of which Britain is in support of. Of which Britain is in support of. Let's listen again. Listen carefully.
You leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings.
The government has a hand in it.
Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria.
That's El Rufai.
Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing.
That is something.
They have a sophisticated...
Boko Haram and bandits, they are the same. One specializes in killing civilians, the others are engaging the military. All of these things are Fulani plans to advance to the Atlantic Ocean, to secure the zoo called Nigeria. To secure the zoo called Nigeria for their children and their children's children. Everybody is saying it that they have failed. I want to read a news that have just been sent to me. So all of you listening to your so-called Southeast, South politicians, you are handing over your future, the future of your children, to cattle headers in Mietiala. If that is not the case, why would somebody, a respected governor like Autumn, say that we have failed Nigerians as leaders? They have all failed. These are failures. A sitting governor is saying that they are all failures. People who, now listen, I don't know how to explain this so people can understand this very clearly. Now listen. The people telling you about one Nigeria and Igbo presidency, they have been in power for a very long time. Since after the war, they are the group that the Fulanis groomed into leadership. Not grooming them to serve you, grooming them to serve their interest, to impoverish you, so we can all travel abroad in search of greener pastures, and we leave our homes open, so that we can no longer marry our daughters. Because most of our men who are outside are married to outsiders. Our daughters are at home, most of them are not, but they keep going to church and keep praying, but there is no husband. Because those who are supposed to marry them are all abroad, married to foreigners all over the place. I'm not blaming anybody for that. That was what the condition gave. People had to travel abroad to go and look for greener pastures. But in our thinking, in our psyche, because of course if you travel abroad, you need to marry a citizen of that place for you to harmonize your papers. That is true. Or you claim asylum, as the case may be. Now, what I'm asking you is this. Do you know that when people travel abroad in search of greener pastures, we forget that back home we are creating a social disaster. There are now many of our sisters that nobody can marry. But when we are traveling abroad, we never think about it. When we are looking for green paper or asking for residency, we don't think about it. We marry foreigners, we marry outsiders. Our sisters, nobody marries them. Now you understand. These are what is called the unintended consequences of our actions. Tonight I'm telling you that the unintended consequences of the actions of these useless politicians talking rubbish about presidency, rubbish, one Nigeria garbage. Our children will bear the consequences, not them, because by that time we will all be dead. What is now happening in the Middle Belt, happening in the North, will happen to us as well. But this time around, at a far more grievous, a far more heightened scale, and nobody will come to our rescue. Do you know why Facebook removed the post that I made? Because in the post I made, I told Britain that they created the Niger area. I said to Britain, today you can see what your Fulani pets are doing. You cannot talk. The day we rise up now to defend our land, I will bring you their submissions and their letters to UN, to EU, to everybody. They will be the first to say, oh, look at them, they've come again. Secessionists, Biafra, they have come again. That's why Facebook said I should remove it. Facebook said I should remove it. In fact, they've removed it for me, not even that I should. And they have banned me. So I don't know if this very broadcast is still going. And I'm sure they will tell me. If this broadcast is not going through, I'm sure somebody somewhere will tell me. It is still ongoing on my page. These are the enemies you're facing. Very powerful, but you don't know. Their plan was to depopulate our land. Their plan is to keep sponsoring all these terrorists until we flee from our villages. Their plan is to take over our land. And I can assure you, no world power will come to our rescue. For the simple reason that one of the few good people left, which is the US president, he's under siege. Trump is under heavy siege. From the left, everywhere he's being bombarded. Because he's doing the work of God. Look at where we are today. A man is telling you that the government of the country some of you pledge allegiance to is complicit in the murder of you. They are slaughtering all of you. And nobody wants to come out to protest en masse. Nothing is happening. Compare that to Lebanon, where ministers are resigning. People are out on the streets demonstrating in their millions. Compare that to your apathy as a black baboon in Africa. It is very clear. This man have said it all. What else do you want to hear from me? And the reason why I say that Governor Autumn is one of the few reasonable, sensible politicians in the zoo, because he calls it as it is. That is why I respect him. He says things the way they are. He said, allow responsible citizens to carry assault rifles. Only, can you believe that people are sick? Can you believe that in a country you claim is yours, Nigeria, only one group of people are allowed to carry AK-47, assault weapons? Who are they? Fulani Miyetti terrorists with their cattle. Every other person is not allowed to carry AK-47. Governor Autumn is saying, allow ordinary people to defend themselves, a sitting governor. The same thing I told the whole world in 2015, that they are coming. I told you they are coming. In 2014, I said the same thing, that they must come. Have they not come now? Now, a governor, the same thing that I said, it's reasonable felony that all these baby saboteurs, they were producing it and giving it to every government of the world. They gave it to the Canadians, they gave it to the US government, they gave it to the Australians, everywhere. The same thing I was saying, give us arms to defend our guns and bullets to defend our land, is what a governor said today, in the newspaper. I'll read it for you. Breaking, it says here. It was published by Vanguard newspaper. Let responsible citizens carry guns, assault weapons, to match Miyetti Allah. Miyetti Allah are their foot soldiers. Miyetti Allah is in Boko Haram. They are in ISIS. Miyetti Allah is in Al Qaeda in the Maghreb. This Miyetti, they are the bandits themselves. Your useless Miyetti Allah, they are the criminals. They are the killers. Britain, have you heard Britain talk? No, never. Now listen. The governor of Benue State, Samuel Autumn, on Wednesday appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari, led, because they know he's no longer there, led federal government to allow responsible citizens to carry guns such as AK-47 to prevent criminals from attacking harmless Nigerians. Was it not what I said at World Igbo Congress in 2015? This was what I preached on Radio Biafra in 2014. After how many years? About 5 years, so to speak. A governor is saying it. And nobody is charging him with treason. Nobody wants to hang him. Nobody has made an attempt on his life to kill him. I survived 2 assassination attempts. One at Obakala, one when they stormed my house. 2 attempts to kill me. I have the videos. I have not shown you the video of the one at Obakala. Somto shot it, he was with me. One day I'll ask him to release it. I have survived 2 onslaughts. They were shooting at us. At Obakala, ask Obakala people, they will tell you. Ask the war, they will tell you what happened that very day. They said that we had juju with us. That was why the guns couldn't penetrate. In the videos, you will hear them, you hear the guns going off. But none of us was hurt. We escaped the assassination attempt 2 times. He has said the same thing that I said in 2015. And he's still alive. People don't reason. That is the problem with a black man. I will keep saying it. Let us leave what Autumn said. Autumn is a good man, the governor of Benue State. Let us go to the Catholic bishops. Are you going to accuse them of treason as well? Is Britain, are you going to accuse Catholic bishops of treason? The same Catholic bishops rose up and said, defend yourselves. Defend yourselves. All of you have seen you have read the news. Is that not correct? defend yourselves. Catholic bishops have asked Nigerians to rise up and defend themselves against attack by bandits, headsmen, kidnappers, and other violent criminals across the country. Catholic archbishops. I said it before, at least Catholic archbishops or Catholic priests, they have a history of standing up for the rights of people. They have spoken. Pentecostalists, they won't say anything. They want tithe and offering. Catholic bishops have said it. What this Catholic bishop said in 2020, I said in 2014, 2015. Now, tell me, have they committed treason? Have these bishops, Catholic bishops, have they committed treason? How can somebody be coming to kill you? They claim is from Mauritania, somebody from Mali, somebody from heaven knows where, coming to kill you. Because if you catch them and say, oh, they are foreign bandits, they are foreign terrorists, coming to kill you. Yes, somebody is telling you not to defend yourself. You listening to such a fool, are you not an idiot? You see, when I speak, they say I insult them. Tell me, people that exhibit this level of idiocy, why they shouldn't be entitled to insults. Nnamdi Kanu said it. He said, bring him, let's hang him, let's kill him. A governor have said the same thing that I said. Catholic archbishops are now saying it. Are you coming to me to apologize? Maybe one day they will apologize. Maybe. But I just want to let you know that what we see 5-10 years ahead, you cannot see it now. That is why everything we do always yield the right results at the right time. There are some things that we say on air. There are some things that I say to people. I tell them. They find it very confusing and baffling. They wonder, how is that possible? But one day it will happen. By the time in 2015 I was telling World Igbo Congress to give us guns and bullets, people thought I was crazy. They said he's a warmonger. He wants to start war. And I said to them that I have seen something you cannot see. They said, how? Are you a prophet? Are you a man of God? I said, I'm not. But I preach the gospel of Elohim. Chukwu Okike gives me revelations. And I tell you, and it will come to pass. They said, no, it's not good enough. That thing I said 5-6 years ago, Catholic bishops are now saying it today. A sitting governor is now saying the same thing. What does that tell you about us? That we are very special. Very, very special, I assure you. We see things that others cannot see. And when I tell you that the zoo is gone, the zoo is gone. If I tell you that Biafra has come, Biafra, that is nothing. Let me tell you something. People, I said this last week. The reason why I said Biafra is the last miracle is because despite all the opposition against the emergence of Biafra, especially from Britain, Biafra will come. That still is a miracle. Not by what you and I are doing, but by the grace of Almighty God in heaven. Catholic bishops have told you, defend yourselves. Do you have AK-47 where you are now to defend yourself? If they now come to your village to ransack, which is they come in army and police uniform, they now come to kill. Tomorrow we'll put it on Facebook. Hey, what is happening is bad. This country. But meanwhile, may the soul of the departed rest in peace. End of story. Remember all our righteous indignation and outrage at Ozowani massacre in Enugu. And I'm saying, go and Google Ozowani massacre by the Fulani. Go and Google Nimbo massacre. What I'm saying to Ojo Zokalo, that fool from Ohaneze in Anambra State, that idiot. What I'm saying to you is, do you think that when Nnamdi Azikiwe was championing his one Nigeria with Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa, that he thought one day that these same people will send their grandchildren to come and kill his own grandchildren? He never knew that. But one man saw all these things. What I'm telling you today is not new. There was one single man, a Biafran, that saw all of these things. He called Azikiwe to work. The same thing we are telling Ohaneze today and all these Efulefus. These people that keep talking rubbish every day to BBC, we're talking nonsense. What we are telling them now is, I want to remind them tonight to remember that man called Mbonu Ojike. Mazi Mbonu Ojike told Azikiwe, this your World Nigeria project will backfire. Ask Mbazuli Kameji, ask those who are close. I'll ask our father Mbazuli Kameji, he will tell you. He was close to Zeke. And he knew Mbono Ojike very well. Go to Mbazuli Kameji and ask him what killed Mbono Ojike. He will tell you. Ask him what was Mbono Ojike's philosophy. Mbono Ojike kept warning and telling Zeke, one Nigeria is bad for an Igbo man. One Nigeria, let's go home. Zeke said, no, we are everywhere. We have a shop in Guzo. An Igbo man has a chemist. Can you believe such rubbish? An Igbo man has a chemist in Sokoto. An Igbo man is building one small hotel, Hotel Jalingo in Meduguri. Look at where we are today. And I'm warning you, you see this crop of politicians and errand boys for Abuja. Some of you don't know, but I will tell you tonight. Do you know the reason why they insisted that Hope Uzodinma should be the governor of Imo State? You don't know, but I will tell you. You see, that is how the Fulanis think. The Fulanis, they think ahead. Fulanis knew that Imo State will produce the next Ohaneze President General. January 2021. To tell you how advanced they are, the Fulanis, in terms of their thinking. Because the Fulanis, they want to retain control over Igbo land. You know what the Fulanis did? They have a Edwin Clark already in the Niger Delta. Is their house boy, is their errand boy. Edwin Clark was a frontline saboteur during the war. So South is sorted. Pandev is in their pocket. Do you know why they put Hope Uzodinma in power? I will tell you tonight. Because of Ohaneze PG, January 2021, it is the turn of Imo State to produce the next Ohaneze President General. And they know that it is the prerogative of the governor to nominate somebody and then cajole the rest of the governors to put that person in power. That was why they put Uzodinma there. Nothing more, nothing less. So you don't know. I am telling you now. They knew. So they went from number 1 to number 4. What is important for the caliphate is not who occupies Douglas House. They want to determine who will come out as Ohaneze President General to continue the shambolic misguidance of our people. And they will get it. Because Uzodinma is there. He's not going anywhere. Until 2021, until they put Ohaneze PG, they will fly him now to Sokoto to go and sit on the floor in front of the Sultan. The idiot will come back and tell you he's Ohaneze PG. And all of you idiots, as usual, will be chanting, clapping, and dancing like the morons you are. Yet, nothing is happening in your land. No industries, no seaport, no international airport. The same garbage all over again. Because they want to hold you down. And they determine who governs you. They appoint your leaders for you. You have no choice. But next year will be different. The next Ohaneze to PG to emerge will be a different story altogether. The Fulanis will be shocked. That I can assure you. Now, after the Catholic bishops must have said what they have said, there is a conclusion this night, we have known this before, that even the world, those who update Wikipedia, they know that the zoo is a failed state. They know the zoo is a failed state. I'm telling you this at 17 minutes past. The top of the hour, wherever you are, to know it's live. Wikipedia have listed Nigeria as a failed state in the list of failed countries. As I mentioned, that is to tell you, everybody listens to Radio Biafra, as I mentioned many weeks ago. Now, it is a failed state. In that failed state, somebody, a human being that claimed he went to school with a full complement of all the faculties that a brain should possess, will come out and say, I will keep defending the unity of one Nigeria. But it is a failed state. People are dying in Katsina. A former deputy governor of the central bank is telling you that the government themselves are the ones sponsoring terrorism. People are dying in your village. Fulanis are taking over your land. Your mothers are being raped. Your daughters being cut into pieces. It doesn't touch you. What matters to you is position. Let me go and control the budget and steal even more money. Do you see why the bunch of people you have are all failed leaders? Failed, completely failed. The only thing that gave honor and pride to our people is not IPOB. Without IPOB, which other honor do they have? They have nothing. And they're standing on that IPOB to be talking rubbish. You want presidency. The same rubbish Azikiwe did, presidency. The same nonsense Ironsi did, the presidency. Where are we today? You people you don't reason. Don't reason very well. I feel ashamed for you people. You are in a failed state. A state that the whole world, even UN, recognizes as a failed state. You're yapping rubbish. Talking absolute garbage. Nonsense upon nonsense. Complete failed state. And you have no... Are we shut down? They said we've been shut. Is that possible? I don't think so. Pastor Jack is saying that but I can see that Facebook is on. It's not been shut down. If it's shut down, I'm sure that Chinasa, Maka, and all the rest of them, and Madabu, they will text to let me know. I think that please confirm that the Facebook is still on, because I have this thing here on the screen. I can't see it because I'm afraid that if I click on this very thing, that they will take the whole thing down. So I don't want to touch anything at all. So I need confirmation, please, that we are still live and direct on Facebook. Now, listen to the problem of our people. Why we cannot reason like human beings, I have no idea. Our mandate is Igbo presidency, not Biafra. Ohaneze chief. You know this Ohaneze people. You try to rehabilitate them. You try to teach them. You try to lecture them. You try to get them to reason like people who are involved in, should I say, socio-cultural development of their people, and all the time they refuse. Imagine the type of comment coming from the mouth of somebody who says he's Ohaneze chief. Because we gave them the leeway, because we spoke to them, because we said we'll be nice to them. Can you see the nonsense coming out of their mouth? Unguarded utterances. When it was the time of the Yorubas, when they wanted to agitate, using OPC and the rest to agitate, did any Yoruba politician come out and say, we don't want to do what we want is a Yoruba presidency? You see how foolish people are. You see that when I say that, they say, I don't want to insult anybody in Ohanese, but you see how daft they are. I'm asking you a simple question. When OPC's agitation was raging for Duduwa Republic, and they produced the Olufalaye and Obasanjo to contest in 1999, I'm asking you fools, some of you idiots in Ohanese, I'm sorry to say, but I have to use this type of language because you people are fools, you don't know anything. I want you to go back and show me where any frontline Yoruba politician or elder came out and said, we are warning OPCO, what we want is Yoruba presidency, not Duduwa Republic. I want to prove to the world that these people that, some of these people that speak for Haneze, they're just fools. They have no brain. They claim they're politicians, but they know nothing. They don't know what is called leverage. They have no idea what a leverage is. Let me give you another example. When Fulanis formed Boko Haram to kick out Jonathan, and Boko Haram was killing people everywhere, I'll get to it later on, and Ihejirika was fighting them. What did Buhari say? Did Buhari say to Boko Haram, stop what you're doing, or we are only interested in the Fulani presidency? I want to prove to the world that an average Igbo errand boy, stroke politician, is a complete dumb fool. They have no brain. So you cannot come and make a forceful point for your useless Igbo presidency. You had to use Biafra to prove to your Fulani masters, I'm loyal to Nigeria. But I'm asking you now, everybody knows what Boko Haram stands for. They want a caliphate in the north. Buhari won election in 2015 supporting Boko Haram in the open. Are you following what I'm saying? Igbo efulefu, can you reason at all? idiotic Igbo efulefu, Hanezeka, is your brain. Can your brain actually articulate? All of you idiots, one Nigeria, this one Nigeria, that. I'm asking you, when Buhari was defending Boko Haram in broad daylight, an attack against Boko Haram is an attack against the North, did he say to Boko Haram, our problem is Fulani presidency, not caliphate? Did you not vote Buhari in 2015 despite his support for terrorists? Did you not have a choice of choosing from two Yoruba men, Olufalaye and Obasanjo, as a direct result of OPC's agitation following the annulment of June 12? Not Nadeko, grassroots agitation on the ground by OPC. They gave them two presidential candidates at the same time. They invoked the doctrine of necessity. But a typical useless, daft, Igbo idiot politician with no brain. You think by attacking Biafra that the Fulanis will give you Igbo presidency. See how foolish they are. I've been able to prove it to you, how daft you are. I want you to go back and get me any condemnation of Boko Haram pre-2015 from Buhari. None. He was supporting them. I'll read it for you later. When you tell these people that, your elders, the elders of their brains are empty, they know nothing. They were all groomed by Fulani people. Fulani brought them out. The same way they put hope on them there to control the outcome of Ohaneze leadership tussle come January of next year. I'm asking you, I want you to show me where a Yoruba politician rose up in 1999 or before 1999 and said, our problem, Gani Adams, you're warning you, our problem is Yoruba presidency, not all these things you're doing. And they still got it. The Yoruba men contested. I want you to show me where Buhari came out and said to Boko Haram, we don't need your caliphate. You're causing us problems. You're causing us problems. Show me. Instead, Buhari said, they are our brothers. An attack against them is an attack against the whole North. Did he not win elections? They know nothing, yapping rubbish. One Nigeria, we want one Nigeria. I will defend one Nigeria till I die. People talking rubbish. Our mandate is Igbo presidency, not Biafra. Ohaneze chief. Because we made the mistake of talking to them. Have you seen? You see their lives? You see how they behave? They have no brain, no knowledge of history. Stupidity everywhere, from top to bottom. Stupidity everywhere. All they do is, we are elder. Their brains are. And I said to them, don't foolish young people grow old? Some of these baby saboteurs we have now, are they not going to grow old? So when they grow old, they become elder as well. Is that correct? We are preaching the gospel of redemption, please. Live and direct. And the Vanguard newspaper today rushed and published it. Igbo elites have turned down on Nnamdi Kanu's rhetorics to achieve restructured Nigeria. Only Igbo politicians, or should I say Biafran politicians, they are the only ones that think that attacking their own people will advance their goal. When I came out, I attacked the enemy, the zoo state. Fulani Janjaweedism. But some of this, do you see how they groom their baby saboteurs to follow after them? If live life. They never attacked the Fulani Janjaweed. They never attacked what is happening in the zoo. It is Nnamdi Kanu's rhetoric. So by speaking this way, you want Fulani to love you and embrace you. So what you're saying to Fulani is that we are prepared to sacrifice Nnamdi Kanu to, as they have done on 2 occasions, We can kill him for you if you want. If that is what they're saying in effect is that if IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why you cannot give us presidency, leave it, promise us anything, we'll kill them for you. That's what they're saying. Do you see the saboteur mindset of an Igbo man? Sabo to the core, to the bone marrow. Do you see what they are doing to themselves? Do you see, when we speak now, they say, oh, please don't insult them. But do you see how they're insulting themselves every day? I asked them a simple question, and I don't want any, go write it down. If you see any efulefu, including this idiot, I don't know his name, any efulefu, ask the efulefu. Throughout the agitation of OPC, I want you to show me where a Yoruba man came out on a national newspaper and said, OPC, stop this thing you're doing. What we want is Yoruba presidency. I said, show me one article. Again, show me an article that says that they don't condemn Boko Haram. What we want is northern presidency, not caliphate. Show me one article. You will see none. Do you know the funniest thing? Their politicians backed OPC. They got the presidency. Fulani politicians backed Boko Haram, a terrorist group. They got the presidency in 2015 and they're still there till today. You people that every time you keep sacrificing yourselves to the Fulani, have you gotten anything? Ordinary vice you cannot get. Ordinary Senate president you don't have. You have nothing. That is the price you pay for sabotage. Treachery. You think they don't know in the north? They know now, they're laughing at you because you're dumb. You wear that cap and you're talking rubbish. You're an elder, a little boy. In IPOB, we have council of elders in IPOB. We have crowned heads in IPOB. We have kings. In fact, let me put it this way, traditional rulers. And a chaff, a complete chaff. Is calling them youths. Those youths. Have you not seen our mothers before in Anambra? Do they look young to you? People that gave birth to men who are older than you. You're calling them youths. You see how foolish they are. You see how foolish they are. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's their lot. That was how Zeke sold them down the river. And today you're suffering it. Are you not suffering it today? The same efulefu mentality. I want to prove to all of you that this very effort to Islamize, to take over our land, is a concerted effort. And the reason why I like other people, and you know, the stupidity, I'm not saying that there are some, of course, there are some Biafran journalists who are very good. They will always try to be objective and report what is happening. But there are those who are fools. I want to use Daily Trust in the north and most of the Lagos-based newspapers in the west to also educate our people. I want our people to understand this. I want Biafrans to understand this very simple logic. The same way I've been able to prove to you that throughout the agitation of OPC for Oduduwa State, when they perceived the injustice of June 12 annulment, they agitated. No Yoruba man came out to ask OPC to stop what they're doing until they got Yoruba presidency. The same thing happened in the north. No northerner came out and said to Boko Haram, stop what you're doing so we can go and get Fulani presidency. No. Two of them were working together. As a result of Boko Haram, Buhari got into office. As a result of OPC activities on the ground, the Yorubas got presidency. They never attacked their frontline activists. Never. Only an Igbo man does that. And that's why they have nothing. Do you see how foolish they are? Do you know that Daily Trust newspaper is a Janjaweed paper advancing the Fulani cause? And they know that the last line of defense is IPOB. They know that. That is why they will attack it. Let me tell you what they claim an Igbo man wrote. Nigerian army inroads into the southeast, where they are praising, his name is Linus Okoye. He was writing and praising Fulani army killing their own people. An Igbo man, Linus Okoye. Because tomorrow when people get upset, when men rise and get upset and start dealing with these saboteurs, some of you will start complaining. We look at what they're writing. And a Daily Trust newspaper gleefully wrote it. Daily Trust is working. It's a Fulani paper working for the Fulani Janjaweed. Do you know what this fool said? That the Nigerian army has done so well in the southeast. This is the army that killed his people. The massacre that Amnesty International documented at Mpo. Massacre in Aba. Nobody's hiding that. Did Britain say anything? Was there any commission of inquiry? No. An Igbo man is praising a Fulani army, more or less, for killing his people. It's in the Daily Trust. How well they did, killing his own people. That's what they learned from Ohaneze now. Any Sabo goes, if Loretta Noche calls you now and gives you maybe 2,000 naira. I remember one idiot that was working for Family Writers before. An Anambra politician called him, gave him one laptop, one smartphone, and 2,000 recharge card every week. And he turned into a saboteur for 2,000 naira, one laptop and one smartphone. Talk less of this one. Who knows what they must have. Maybe as a assistant to assistant PA on media to one idiot in Abuja, and he wrote for Daily Trust. If you go there, they say, no people man write this. They are saying Burata is doing very well, killing his people. What they learned from Ohaneze. Because you see goat, when goat gives birth to a baby goat, when mother goat is eating yam, baby goat is watching the mother goat eat yam. One day, baby goat will go and taste yam as well. That's what it do. What I'm saying is that, in effect, is that what Ohaneze has been able to do is to entrench a culture of betrayal and deceit into the mentality of an Igbo man. Because they can see that betrayal pays. If I betray my people, Abuja will give me something. So why don't I betray? That's what they're now doing. So it is now in our bone marrow. Betrayal. That's why somebody wrote this. His name is Linus Okoye. Praising somebody for killing his people. Whereas the man that they claim they are running the zoo in his name, Buhari, when in Hejrika bombed Boko Haram hideouts, he was screaming until they removed the Hejrika. You see how an Igbo man behaves. Very foolish. Very, very foolish indeed. Very sad. That's the way they are. You can't change them. But IPOB is here. And very soon the result will be out. You know how, do you see how miraculous, our God is? When I launched BSS, they said because of BSS, we are coming to kill you. The same thing that was launched in 2017, they came to kill me. Our Yoruba brothers have launched it. Even terrorists, Mieti Allah, have launched their own. The same thing I said in 2014, 2015, arm yourselves. Today, Catholic bishops, governors are now saying it, go and arm yourselves. We are always one step ahead of our enemies. Luckily for us now, the Yorubas have launched their own. The terrorist group, Fulani terrorists, have launched theirs, Mieti Allah. We are the only ones left. And we are coming, we are coming. We are coming now. It's only a matter of time. We are coming. We are coming and the world will see it. Now let me see who is going to write. Because once they write their petition, these professional petition writers, once they write now, can you see, Nnamdi Kanu has raised an army. I will simply send pictures of Amoteku and newspaper cuttings of Mieti Allah to every diplomatic mission in the world to say that what we are doing is no different from what others have done, you see. Do you know those who are going to fight us? The same governors you have because they were put there by Fulani men. Fulani will call them and say, what are you doing? Are you there? But in their own place, they are funding bandits and terrorists. But in your own land, that IPOB is coming to defend you. They ask you to sabotage them. And you come out and you're talking rubbish. As usual. As usual. That tells you all you need to know. That tells you all you need to know. And this evening, I just want the world to have an insight into the brain of those that claim they are leading our people on the ground in Biafra land, be they in politics or in socio-cultural groups like Ohaneze. Uzodinma petitions the National Judicial Council, I think that's what it's called, NJC, the AGF, his Fulani Masters, over Supreme Court Governor tag by the PDP. That was yesterday. He wrote to them saying, PDP are calling me Supreme Court Governor. And the question tonight, are you not Supreme Court Governor? Who made you governor? Did Imo people vote for you? The answer is no. How did you emerge governor? You went to Supreme Court. And, it is another thing that I find distressingly baffling is this. How we all forget so easily. They went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court tabulated the number of votes cast. And it is more than what INEC submitted. And that was how he emerged as the governor. Supreme Court sat down and said, let's make him governor. Some of you thought it's the Fulani Caliphate. They want Uzodinma or their pet, their stooge, to give them an Ohaneze PG that is loyal to them, even more loyal than the present one you have. That's why they put this ex-criminal there. 419 in Lagos. He was the secretary of 419ers in Lagos. He was a professional scammer, a thief. He will write letter and tell you, come and buy, or we want to sell a plot or land to you, and they scam you. These are the type of leaders you have. This is the type of person who emerged, that they chose, a criminal they know is a rogue, to be Imo State governor. And Ohaneze visited him, solidarity visit. No honor, no dignity, no discipline. Ah, dear me. Welcome to the world of mad people. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has petitioned the National Judicial Council and Abubakar Malami, who is himself under probe and investigation, over the tag of Supreme Court Governor used to describe him by the PDP. Hope Uzodinma, who brought you out, is not Supreme Court. Not only did the Supreme Court bring him out, this Supreme Court full of monkeys with horse wig on their head, they sat down. Number of voters in Imo State was 850,000. Supreme Court conjured up 935,000. And the simple question was, or is, where did you get the extra votes from? They don't know. Is INEC not your umpire or electoral referee set up by an act of parliament? Yes. If I want to know the number of people that cast their votes to put in that terrorist sponsor, El Rufai in Kaduna, who do I go to? I go to INEC, not to Supreme Court. So Supreme Court, who did you go to determine the number of votes cast in Imo State? Nobody. Even INEC was raising their hand to speak in court. They said, no, sit down. This bunch of fools sat down and decided to award votes to Hope Uzodinma. That was how he emerged, courtesy of Supreme Court. And nobody will stop. Everybody will keep calling him Supreme Court Governor until he leaves that place. Our people don't know it's a slap on the faces of all Biafran people. You don't know that? A very dirty slap. With Hope Uzodinma, what the Fulanis are saying to is that we can do anything we like. For the idiots asking us to go into politics, you can see it now from number 4 to number 1. What can you do? Nothing. They have army at Obinze. If you talk, they will shoot you dead. And the world will ask what is happening. Let's ask Britain. They'll go to UK and ask them, what is happening? Did you hear all the shootings of the protesters in Owerri? They say, no, it's a minor, it's a farmer-header clash. And the case will be closed. These are the things I want. As long as you listen to us, your life can never be the same. You will be able to reason properly. I want the world to understand why in Biafra land we have a conveyor belt of saboteurs. Conveyor belt. Because the political leadership, they got to where they are by compromising and sabotaging each other. That's how they got to where they are. The sociocultural group itself, for Hanese, they are the ones that have entrenched betrayal as a way of life, as a way of reasoning. That is why every idiot will come, okay, now. I remember when we were growing up, Chubo Kadibo was our role model in terms of politics. He read political science and he was well spoken and he was very good and he did brilliant things and all the rest of it. Everybody within that Shagari era, not because they supported MPN, but because of Chubo Kadibo, they wanted to read. Every young, impressionable, teenager wanted to become a political scientist, to be like Chubo Kadibo. There's something that is happening now. You have seen that these people, they made it by betraying one another by selling our land. So everybody wants to betray and sell our land. So they can be like Opus or them, who knows? They can make them governor one day. Once Fulani comes and looks at your record of treachery against your people, they'll see if they can promote you. That's why you have endless supply of saboteurs every blessed day. But of course, everything, and very soon, result of Bonana, very soon, the world will hear about them. Very, very soon. They'll be shamed very soon. You will hear about them. we're IPOB. We are the largest mass movement on this earth. Bar none. When we march, the earth vibrates. The largest in the whole world. And that is why our enemies are afraid of us. He is the Supreme Court governor, and that remains his name forever and ever because they appointed him. With what is happening in southern Kaduna, what is happening in Katsina, what is happening in the rainforest, as this very good man put it, the former deputy governor of the CBN, what is now very clear is that there is a genocidal war going on. In the midst of the genocidal war, the Fulanis have come to Nimbo, they have come to Ozowani, they have come to Oka, they have come everywhere, they are settling in our land by force. Somebody will rise up from the same land where people are crying, where women are saying we cannot go to the farm anymore. Our mothers in Ungwa, they are protesting every blessed day. That's their land, they can no longer go to the farm. And somebody from there, a so-called politician, will rise up and say, I'm fighting for one Nigeria. Unbelievable. They have prepared and are not taking anything for granted, the Fulani Janjaweed. Their mission is very clear and nothing will stand between them and accomplishing their goal. Our people always fail to understand that Islam will always expand. It's a natural phenomenon. It will always expand. It can never stand still. There are good Islamic scholars. There are good people who are in Islam. I've engaged some of them in discussions. There are good people. Somebody's religion is something very private. It's between you and your God. Anything you want to worship is entirely up to you. But the Fulanis have used this religion to deceive the Hausa people and conquered them. They used it to deceive the Gwari people, the Nupe people, convinced everybody, conquered them all the way to Egala land. Do you understand? And they're still using it till today. And it will not wash with IPOB. And we are saying to them, to the whole world concerned, we are very intelligent. We have scientists who can make things happen. And as I said, in the not too distant future, the results will be there for all to see. We don't care what you say. I don't give a damn what you're going to say. I don't give a toss. You know us, not the way we operate. We don't give a damn what the world will say. The Biafra must stand. If you ask me to stay in the zoo, that means you want me to be Islamized by force against my will, and that will not happen. It won't happen. And as I keep saying, there is nothing I have said before that I have not done. And when I tell that Biafra is coming, it's coming. It doesn't matter what our enemy is, it doesn't matter. Instead, all of us will die there. I'm saying it in the open. Cut out this clip and send it to diplomats as they normally do. Cut it out. And as you're cutting it out, you also know we are doing our own. All those things you said about Boko Haram, all those things that El Rufai did, paying killers, all those things, we are also supplying them. We know you bribe them. We know that the diplomatic community in the zoo, they are corrupt. We know that you pay diplomats. Once they come to the zoo, you give them $1 million each to start with as a welcome package. So they can be sending false reports back to their home nations. We know that for sure. But we're now going to tell you that Biafra is truly the last miracle on this earth. No matter what you do, you can't stop Biafra from coming. None of the Efulefus, all these idiots talking rubbish, nonsense. We want presidency, this, president. All of you, when the chips are down, you will run. You will go to Katsina and do your presidency there. Mad people everywhere. You people are sick in the brain. You are the only ones who think you can climb the grisly pole of political patronage by disparaging your own people. How foolish. Now listen, they are coming. And they will not stop until they conquer all of you. You know that there's a saying that will come from when they are carrying somebody else's corpse, you don't feel it. Once that person is not your relative, you don't feel anything until it happens to you. And always have, if you've learned nothing tonight, have this at the back of your mind. All the one Nigeria garbage that Azikiwe played, where did it get us to? To tell you how much they hate us. To tell you how much Britain and the Fulani, how much Britain has turned the brain of the Fulani to hate. Once they see a Biafran, if they see an Igbo man, it is pure hatred. Is this? The day that I realized that Ojukwu never seceded, the day it came, but if you see how they went into history books all over the world, even on secessionist, you would think that Nigeria has been existing for the past 6,000 years. Nobody took time to say, but these people have been existing before you created your Nigeria. Nobody said that Ojukwu went to Aburi and negotiated a confederation with Gowon. Nobody said it. Nobody wrote and said Ojukwu stayed in Enugu and said, no, I will not go back to join a one unitary Nigeria. On Aburi I stand. They never said that, which was restructuring. So all the idiots talking about restructuring want to restructure. I ask you, what did Ojukwu go to Aburi to do? You know their brain is so shallow. You know, zoo education. They don't retain information. The thing about the brain of your average Nigerian, a monkey in the zoo, is that they have a sandy brain. You pour information, they retain it for one day, and it keeps percolating until they go to the toilet and they urinate it out. And it's gone. They don't know how to hold anything for reference purposes. They don't know the reason why you go to school and you learn is for reference purposes. You tell them something, they cannot retain it. You say to somebody now, the reason why I don't believe in Nigeria is because look at those that believed in it. Where are they today? Like the Azikiwes. When he or she wants to respond to your argument, they forget entirely what you've just said. They go to a new point. I say, oh, but I want to be a Nigerian. But those that went before you and preached one Nigeria, their villages are now under Fulani occupation. Do you still believe in one Nigeria? They can't answer. And then the next day, they go back to the old argument. That is the brain, very porous brain of these people. In all these genocidal conflicts, lives have been lost. And I want all of you to understand that the reason why the Fulanis are getting away with murder, literally, is because Britain is supporting them. As I said, immediately after the Second World War, there was a gentleman's agreement, reminiscent of the 1884-86 Berlin Conference on the partition of Africa. Do you know what they decided? They said that anywhere you are remains your area of influence. Although we may give them their flag as independent nations in Africa, but we still control their destiny. Ask me how, and I will tell you. Some of you don't know this, but I've said it before, and allow me to repeat. You see Togo, after Benin Republic and before Ghana. Do you know that Togo was a German territory before? Togo was a German colony. It was given to France as compensation or reparation after the Second World War. Are you aware of that? Togo in Africa, that had nothing to do with the war in Europe, was used to compensate France. Do you know that Cameroon was also German? Do all of you know? You see Cameroon here. Both Ambazonia were dear brothers of Ambazonia and the North. Do you know that they were controlled by Germany? That after the Second World War, they cut it off. Northern part was given to France. The southern part, the Anglophone, was given to British as compensation. You see Africans in our villages fetching water from our stream, trying to make ends meet. They were in Europe discussing who will own us. That was how Togo became a French colony. That is how Togo is today using CFA. Do you understand how they share your lives? So anybody telling you that Britain doesn't decide what is happening in the zoo, you are either deceiving yourself or you are completely daft. They still see Nigeria as British territory till tomorrow morning. You cannot do anything there without going to Britain first. Why is it then, why therefore is it difficult for all the French West Africa to break away from CFA? Break away now, let's see. You can talk, you can do all your meetings you like, but France is controlling you, and so shall it be. Because you're niggers from Africa, you have no direct control over your lives. You sold your future, your fathers betrayed you, all of you. You are properties of the Europeans. This is called neo-colonialism. You are nothing. That is why in the zoo, the Fulanis can kill everybody. Because the first person you defer to is UK High Commission in Abuja. You ask them what is going on, and they'll say it's nothing, it's just a minor clash here and there. And they continue to enslave you. You see how your life is? The life of a nigger is very, very hard, isn't it? Defend yourselves against them. That is the talk. But if I say defend yourselves, they say Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. But Boko Haram and Miyetti Yala, who are the ones, the bandits killing people, no one has gone for ex parte motion, asking for them to be tagged the terrorist group. All of you are there, 200 million people, as foolish as ever, mopishly looking, looking. Bandits are killing you. Nobody has gone to court to say, let us label them a terrorist group. But an unarmed group asking you to defend yourselves, all of you were there, IPOB was tagged a terrorist group by the Fulani. Do you see such hypocrisy and such double standards? Let me play this for you so you understand it. You understand what the Fulanis are doing. This man called Lafia is called, the former central bank governor. DSS invited him. But the same DSS has never invited Miyetti Yala leader for going and saying that the Benue belongs to them, that they will kill and take over the people's land. They have never invited Miyetti Yala leader. Britain is there. DSS is because they are Fulani. Everybody is Fulani. Miyetti Yala is a Fulani terrorist group. Nobody has ever invited them. And all of you wake up in the morning, I want to defend Nigeria. I will defend Nigeria. When I look at I say to myself, but the Europeans, these are the people to experiment with. They're looking for guinea pigs to test COVID-19 vaccine and all the rest of the stupid drugs you make. You look, there are enough black people who are so foolish that all they are good for is for laboratory experiment. I'm telling you the truth. Let us listen to this preacher, Prophet Isa El Buba Sadiq. I didn't ask you to listen to anybody else from IPOB. Listen to this man. I am playing for you people who are not Biafrans. These are people who that Britain gave to the Fulani, calling them North. Any day you realize what Britain came to do, you will know. Do you know that Britain came, and do you know that the creation of Nigeria itself is a direct project of Satan? Do you know that the reason why that place was named Nigeria? Nigeria means nigger area, black area, darkness, poverty, backwardness. Satanic, that's the meaning of it. Do you know why they named it Nigeria? Was because we are children of light, because of Biafrans. Are you aware? Do you know the reason why they named that place Nigeria, a place of darkness, was because we represent the light? Do you see why we love Ojukwu so much? Ojukwu himself doesn't even know what he came to do. I don't think he knows. He thought it was just an accident. People were killed in the north and he went back home and declared Biafra. No. God was using him for a purpose because his heart was clean and clear. He was a good man. Our eternal leader was a good man. His heart was clear. God saw something in him and used him at that time to announce his kingdom to come. And they all went after him. That thing Ojukwu saw 50 years ago is now happening, isn't it? Because we are blessed. Britain created Nigeria because of us. They have come. Satan sent them to extinguish the light, and that light is Biafra. That was why they named the place Darkness. And empowered the Fulani so much. The Fulani has no job in life for the British. Suppress Biafra, keep them down, kill them, massacre them, jail them, do anything you like. We are here, we are Britain, we'll defend you anywhere in the world. That's what's been happening. Let me play what this man said, and we try and bring the program to a close. Let me play it for you. There are many things to cover, but I'm sure on Friday morning we'll go through them. Listen.
The question I want to ask,
yes,
has the Nigerian constitution denied any Nigerian of self-defense?
Still on self-defense, so. You remember that thing I said in Los Angeles? They said Nnamdi Kanu is looking for war. Bring him, hang him, treasonable felony. There is a pastor, his name is Professor Isa El Buba Sadiq. The same thing I said. The same thing Roman Catholic priests said. May God bless them. Roman Catholic bishops. The same thing that our dear brother Malifia said on Crossfire interview. Ex-CBN governor. The same thing that I said 5 years ago. Do you know those that asked for me to be killed were mostly Igbo people? Because I said that we need guns and bullets to defend against what is happening today. Those things have come. They are now happening. And instead of us to face it as an existential threat and deal with it, people are talking about presidency as if they are drunk, as if they are foolish. As if they are foolish. I don't understand these people, honestly. I don't. And I keep asking, the same road that Zik and Nnamdi Azikiwe took that led to the massacre in Nimbo and also one is the same route you want us to take again. They've learned nothing from history. Let us listen to this very prophet.
And if the answer is no, that the Constitution of Nigeria has given you the power as a citizen to defend yourself when the aggressor comes in. The question I want to ask everyone of the increase in the militancy and the attack on innocent lives.
By the Fulani.
The question I want to ask you.
Ask it.
What stops you from defending yourself?
What stops you from defending yourself? The same thing Nnamdi Kanu said 2014, 2015. Everybody is now waking up to that reality. The same thing that IPOB formed, BSS, that people are now forming today as vigilantes to defend their nations. We are always one step ahead of our enemies. And when we unveil who we are, the whole world will be shocked. Then they know we've not been sleeping, we've not been joking. Then we tell them that this same Biafra, if you don't give it to us, we'll all die there. I'm telling you. We'll all perish there, all of us will die there. We'll have nothing. Let us tell them we are learned people. If Janjaweed, Boko Haram, uneducated, unintelligent people can hold you down for very many years, think of what we can do in this day and age. If our fathers can build a Juku bucket, think of what their children and their children's children can build today. We are fanatical about Biafra. And I want Britain to understand this. I'm an Anglophile. I hold a British passport. I love England very much. English people, they're nice people. The British, in essence, if you meet an average British person, they are conscientious. They are very good people. They don't believe in evil. That was why Oluwade Kwano managed to go to a British court to win his right to be free. Because in England, reason prevails. If you go to a court in England and convince a judge that black is blue, once you present evidence, they will agree with you. They're highly civilized people. But some people that work for their governments are letting them down. I am an Anglophile, as I said. I will always defend British interests anywhere, any day, anytime. But not the defense of an interest that is designed to perpetuate racism. The creation of Nigeria is a racist construct. It was born out of racism to suppress Biafra. But this light of God you cannot suppress any longer. That is why to us, Biafra is everything. It is the air that we breathe. It is more than all you can imagine. They say we are fanatical about Biafra because, yes, to us, Biafra is our religion. And here on Radio Biafra is where we worship. And do you want to know why? Because the God Almighty in heaven, Chukwokika Abiyama, is our God. I love you very much from the bottom of my heart, I must tell you that. But from me, from here, it is good evening.